This is Beyond Category, and I'm Eric Felten. We're here at the Blues Alley Jazz Supper Club in Washington, D.C. to hear a brilliant, swinging piano player, Cyrus Chestnut. He'll be here tonight with his trio. We get to check him out right now. Cyrus Chestnut. Now, that first song you played, that's a Frank Lesser song.
That is correct.
From the musical Guys and Dolls.
Yes.
And what a great melody, really clear, but rich, harmonically rich, but not overcomplicated, just a beautiful melody.
Yeah, it's a simple yet complex, complex yet simple. It's a melody that sings itself. And I've heard the song many times for different artists playing it, recording it. And I was at a club in New York, fairly new club called Mesro. That tune came across, as a possible idea to play. So we started playing it, and it's been growing on me ever since.
Well, you've had a lot of time to learn lots of songs over the years because you've been at it for a long time. You got started when you were barely out of the crib.
That's true.
How'd you get started?
Well, my father actually introduced me to the piano. When I was really fussy, he would put me in the bassinet or crib, I don't know, however you say. And he would start to play, and I would get quiet and soon go to sleep. And around about somewhere between 2 and 3, I climbed up on the piano bench and I started, trying to make some sounds. And so when my parents realized that I could possibly do something with this, I just was not going to let this alone. He went out and bought a book called the Layla Fletcher Piano Course. I remember it was 2 books, book 1, book 2. A green book and an orange book. I remember this very clear. The very first piece I played was called CDE, and I remember it very well because there was a stick figure with a hat on that had CDE on it. And
let me guess, the melody was CDE.
That's right. It was. So I learned that, and the journey continues on to this day.
Part of that journey, once you had gotten a little bit older, not too much older, you started playing in church.
Yes, I was playing at the Mount Calvary Star Baptist Church at the age of 5. Could only play. I couldn't use the pedals. My legs were too short to reach the pedals, so they would dangle while I'm sit and play.
Sometimes you still bring gospel music into your improvisations, into your playing, but I think even beyond that, even when you're not playing music that is, obviously gospel music, I hear in your playing something that's part of that tradition, which is a notion that you're really trying to reach out to an audience and have some effect on the audience with what you're playing.
Well, you have to be honest in performance. And I think when you play, your character, your personality will come out one way or the other. That's who I am. That's a part of my DNA. So rather than hide it, I'd rather let it shine. And so, especially in the vehicle of jazz. Now, mind you, if I was playing a Beethoven sonata, it may be hard to play a little gospel lick. Conceptually, you may be able to do it, but you might run into some problems. But here in the jazz inning, you're free. The great Betty Carter told me, and she said this many times, jazz is about finding out who you are. And so my ongoing experience of playing in the church from time, not as much now as before, is very much a part of who I am. And so when I sit down, the gospel idiom has just as much play as well as my experience of playing Bach conventions, because I went to the Peabody Preparatory in Baltimore, going through that. So being classically trained, that's still a part of who I am. And anything that you see and hear can become a part of how you execute your ideas.
Well, let's see if we can get the band back up on the stage and have you do another for us.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Cyrus Chestnut. Cyrus Chestnut, you got an early start playing for a couple of years on the road with the great singer Betty Carter.
Yes.
But I understand that the first time you played with her was a little bit difficult. What happened?
Be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. A week before, there were signs saying Betty Carter was coming to Berkeley.
And you were a student at
I was
Berkeley
a
College.
student at the time, yes. She was playing at Symphony Hall in Boston, I believe. So the week before, I'm talking big junk to all my friends about, I'm going to sit in with Betty Carter. Let me show her what I can do. You know, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. So go on through the week, and then she shows up, and in the Berkeley Performance Center, it's packed to the hilt, not people. And so we're sitting there, and she decides to talk, and she talks, and she talks, and she talks, and I'm listening. Someone got up and says, "We heard you talk. Now we want to hear you sing." And the whole audience, they say, "Yeah!" So she says, "Okay." So she looks around, and then she says, "My piano player is gone."
Is there a piano player in the house?
So someone gets up and say, "Get Cyrus Chestnut." And within seconds, the rest of the place is hollering, chanting my name, going, "Yeah!" And so it's like, oh my gosh. So it's okay, I just got to get up. So I take the walk up on the stage. And, you know, I know Betty is known for really being rough on musicians, you know. And I was afraid that she was going to call a song that I didn't know, you know. Anyway, so we get on the song. She looks me up and down and says, "Let's do Body and Soul." All right, I can do this. All right. So then as I started to walk, she turned around and said, "In G."
You didn't know it in the key.
I was like, oh gosh, I got to transpose this. Larry Monroe was standing in the wings, and he saw the look of terror I had in my face. He says, "Hey man, you sure you got this? We don't have any wheel books here." I said, "Okay, yeah, I think I do. So I'm sitting down at the piano, and for some reason, nerves had got a hold of me, and it to the point where all of that ability I think about playing the piano decided we're going to go get some pizza, you know, and we, you know, we're going to get some pizza and some burgers or something. We're going to have a party. It's like, but what about me? See you later. So I'm sitting at the piano. What is the first chord? I couldn't hear the first chord. I was like, I knew it in the one key, but I couldn't transpose it. Like, oh. So in the key of G, the first chord should be A minor 7. Okay. But I ended up playing it in the key of C. Betty looked at me, and she actually sang the chord changes to me. I was just a basket case. Almost at the point of stopping, there's something that says, "No, I'm not going to embarrass myself in front of all these peers. I'm going to fight through it." So somehow, using instinct and just fighting my way through, we made it through. She sang, I played, and you know, so we got finished. This whole group of musicians standing up on their feet, yay, yay! And so I'm in total disarray. It's like, well, wait a minute. I played the song in the wrong key, and y'all cheering me like I did something major. So I had to go over to Betty, and I knew that she was going to tear me up. But I to this day, I believe that an angel from above came down and confounded the ears of her and all these musicians. Oh, I was the man on campus. I could have got any date what I wanted any time. Oh, man. But still, I didn't know what the first chord was until I walked 5 minutes away from the school. And then all of a sudden, the storm cleared, and the A minor 7 chord just went bing. Oh, man. I turned around and went back and played it in the key. I learned a great lesson that day, a great lesson about nerves. Nerves can kill you. You know, to this day, I tell students, it's like, you know, it's natural to be nervous, but you have to be able to contain that nervous energy, allow it to propel you versus be like quicksand and take you over. And so I vowed to her, I vowed to myself, I'm going to make this up to her. And again, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. But I was glad about getting this. I was able to get the opportunity to work with her for a couple years, and it was a great finishing school. It was really my graduate school in playing jazz in many ways.
You've just shown us how dangerous it can be to sit in with somebody, but I'd love to sit in and play with you.
Oh, man. Oh, it will be lovely. It will be lovely.
Let's give it a try.
Okay. All right.
Cyrus Chestnut. I'd like to thank Cyrus Chestnut and his band for the beautiful swinging music. I'd like to thank Blues Alley for hosting us today. And most of all, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'm Eric Felten. I hope you'll join me again soon for more good music on Beyond Category.